بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My dear brothers and my dear sisters, just a short reminder tonight. And I hope that you lend me not just your ears but also your heart, because I'm going to speak about something that affects every single one of us. Male, female, young, old. This matter affects every single one of us. I'm going to give you a story, a fictional story, about a character I've named Abu 20%. And this Abu 20% comes out every single year. Abu 20% in school, he would only ever give 20% of his time to his class. So he only yielded 20% of the results. Abu 20%, when it came to his HSC, he only put 20% of the effort in. So to no surprise, he failed his HSC. Abu 20% managed to get into a trade, and he only gave 20% of his effort to his boss. So his boss ended up giving him the door. See you later. We want someone that gives us the complete effort. Abu 20% also tried university. And unfortunately, the professors in university didn't accept Abu 20%'s 20% effort. So Abu 20%, throughout life, he ended up failure after failure after failure. He met a girl, wanted to go ask for a hand, and he thought, you know what, I'm going to be straightforward and tell the parents, I'm only going to give her 20% of my time. I'll only give her 20% of her needs. Everything's only 20% because I am Abu 20%. So what do you think the parents did? Assalamu alaikum, have a lovely life. Go live your 20% life somewhere else. And I mentioned this for us to paint a story or a picture, to frame a picture in our minds. Why am I speaking about this now? We have now reached just over 20% of Ramadan. This is the moment where Abu 20% creeps into the hearts of every single one of us. Where Abu 20% attaches himself to the soul, the nafs of every single person when it comes to this time. Because at the start of Ramadan, everyone's fired up, everyone is on the emotional high, everyone's on the iman high. Everyone wants the mercy of Allah and the forgiveness of Allah. But what happens after that, my dear brother and my dear sister? It is you and your nafs. It is you and your nafs. And when this Abu 20% clings to your nafs and he says to you at the time of iftar, oh, you know what, you've eaten too much today, Taraweeh is going to be so hard, the air conditioner might not work, the imam's going to be reading slow, you know, the guy who's given a talk, if it's this bloke, he's going to be speaking for half an hour, let's just pray at home. So Abu 20% succeeds here. The nafs gives up here. The nafs, it takes over your body here, where you now fall victim to your own desire. Have you done haram? No, you haven't. But you haven't succeeded in Ramadan. So what happens to this person? They start to drop off from Taraweeh. They stop coming to the Jama'ah. They stop coming to the night prayers. And they say to themselves, you know what? I have, time at work. I'm very tired from work and whatnot. I'll pray them at home. So then they start praying Taraweeh at home. And Abu 20% clings again. You finish your Isha, khalas, Allah loves the obligatory actions. You don't have to do any more than that. So now from going to the Jama'ah and praying Taraweeh and praying Isha in the Jama'ah and listening to the reminder and giving salam to your brothers and walking to the masjid, all of these extra rewards that we don't think about every single time we come here that we receive, we lose out on. It doesn't just stop there. We then give up the Taraweeh at home. We just do our obligatory. And we end up exactly how we were prior to Ramadan, within Ramadan. All because of that slip up where we allowed our nafs to fall into laziness. The Prophet ﷺ, he said in a dua that's comprehensive, and I only mention the start of the dua because it's quite long, we don't have all night to explain it. He said, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-ajzi wal-kasal. That's, oh Allah, I seek refuge in you. I ask for you to protect me, to safeguard me from al-ajaz wal-kasal. Al-Imam Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah in I'lam al-Muwaqqi'in, he explains these two words, al-ajaz wal-kasal. Al-ajaz, he said, it is when the person has the irada, they have the intrinsic ability, the will, they want to do the good action, but their physical body is impaired, they aren't able to do it. For example, when someone's very sick, where they're so ill in their body they're unable to make sujood. They wish they could. They have the irada, the will, it's inside them, they want to do it, but they're physically in pain, they're unable to do it. That's the first part of the dua, to ask Allah to safeguard you from al-ajaz. And the second part, wal-kasal. And here Ibn al-Qayyim, he said, it's when the person is completely fit, physical, they're able to do the action, but there is no irada to do the good action. There's no intrinsic will inside them to want to push themselves to do it. And in English, we can call it laziness or procrastination. But really, it is the death of ourselves. For us to fall victim to al-kasal, for us to fall victim to laziness. And it's that detrimental to us as believers that the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he asked Allah to safeguard him from al-ajazi wal-kasal. This is the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So imagine us, we are nowhere near as dedicated to Islam as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was. And he feared this for himself. So then what about us? What can we do then to ensure that we fight this intrinsic or this internal battle within us? First and foremost, my dear brother, for us to fight the kasal, we have to look at the state of our bodies. After you've smashed a nice mixed plate or some kachi biryani, if you're from Bangladesh, Shamim, after smashing some kachi biryani or some chicken biryani or some wara anab or some very oily, filled, like completely carbohydrated filled food, how do you feel afterwards? You don't want to come anymore. So the first advice, ensure your iftar is light so that when you come to the masjid, you don't have that distraction or that loss in physical ability. Secondly, making that dua, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-ajzi wal-kasal. Asking Allah to assist you in this. Thirdly, remembering that the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal, it is throughout the entire Ramadan. As the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man sama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaba, ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi." That whomever fasts Ramadan with true iman and awaiting the reward from Allah Azza wa Jal, then their sins that they have brought forth are forgiven. That is the mercy during the day. Sometimes during the day isn't enough for us. We may have slipped up during our fasting. We may have said something to someone that we regret afterwards. We may have done something that we knew it was out of the character of the fasting person, which retracted from that reward. Then the mercy of the night comes. As the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Man qama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaba, ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi." That whomever prays the night prayer in Ramadan with true iman and awaiting the reward from Allah Azza wa Jal, then their sins that they have brought forth are forgiven. The mercy during the day and the mercy during the night. However, this is only for the one who wants the reward, who wants the mercy, who can tame their nafs to accept that for the next 23 or 24 days left, I am going to take every single day and every single night seriously. Have a conversation with your nafs today. Tell your nafs to fear Allah Azza wa Jal. And show your nafs who is the boss of this jasad, of this body. You are. And you need to ensure that you use every moment of your life, especially the shabab and the shabat, the young girls and the young boys, to ensure that you use this time to build these habits, to ensure you don't fall into laziness, and these nights of worship and this season of worship you take seriously. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت واستغفرك اللهم وأتوب إليك.